Hey guys, it's your favorite Dinobot here, and today we have Kratos versus Deathwing. Now I know this video is a little bit short, but again, we're just going to get right down into it as this is going to be one of the new things with my channel here. I'm going to give my synopsis on the character's power level and explain why they're at that level or tier of scaling here. And I'm going to be doing that for the next couple waves here, because I realized that, you know what, we already know who these characters are, so why not just get right into it. So, Deathwing versus Kratos, and we have Kratos. Very easily here. Kratos, you could easily get from complex multiversal, and if you really want to go there, hyperversal. Now, when it comes down to it, and God of War Valhalla, I do think it does show that Kratos is a lot stronger and has surpassed yet another level within, I guess you could say, his daily life. Or at least in terms of his power level is what I'm trying to say here. You see, we know that God of War has this cosmology. You know, like, it's pretty simple here. The gods, upscale the Titans upscale the Primordials. The Primordials were beings who created their parts of the universe and even creating the concepts within them and being able to move in a timeless void. Alright? And again, Uranus lesser than Kronos. Kronos is lesser than Zeus. Kratos is above Zeus. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Keep in mind that the God of War universes are infinite in size with their own purpose and natural function here. You have Kratos fighting against beings like Garm, who I've actually been shown here before by people from TikTok and on Discord that Garm is actually able to eat metaphysics. So he's pretty darn powerful at this point here. Kratos also would upscale from Thor, as we actually do see that he's holding back in the Norse games a lot more now. A matter of fact, he was holding back from the start of the Norse games all the way up until Ragnarok. I mean, this dude was trying so hard not to go back into how he was in the God of War 3 era, because he was trying to be a better person, a better man. And yet, anytime he cut loose or showed a little bit of his true side, what did he do to Thor? What did he do to Heimdall? He absolutely manhandled them by the end of their fights. Heimdall obviously wasn't really too much to be cracked up about, but Thor, the guy who split the world tree, which is infinite in size with each strand going across realities that are infinite in size and infinitely layered, woof. Man, Kratos, you had some stuff here. Now, again, I do think I need to address God of War Valhalla and tier scaling a little bit. I do think tier would scale above Thor. Not Odin, because Odin does more, has more of the magical axes and stuff like that. But again, he should upscale, Thor. If not, he would probably be able to beat Thor the same way Kratos did with his skill and weaponry. And again, Kratos had to get stronger throughout that to fight Tyr. Now, I know you guys are probably going to ask me this, and you guys are probably going to wonder, oh, does Kratos scale to the Egyptian and Aztec pantheons because, Tyr is using their weapons and their magic? And I would honestly have to say no. Alright? The reason why is because we don't know how powerful these gods are. Yes, you could probably give your own interpretations, where I have seen people upscale or at least scale the Egyptian pantheon to universal and stuff like that. I've seen it. It's good. It's decent work. I would say there. And with, Tyr having the Koshep or Kopesh, and then the Aztec War Club, which was, oh my god, that thing is actually like brutal when you actually read about it. In all honesty, no, I don't think Kratos would upscale these pantheons. He either needs to interact with them, and we need some good statements from them, saying that the Egyptian pantheon, like, massively dwarfs the, the Norse and Egyptian pantheons combined, or something like that, But again, at the end of the day, with Kratos' feats of being able to beat Hades, Poseidon, Zeus, being able to kill and beat primordials like Thanatos, even beating the primordial of dreams, I think it was Kopes. Nah, I'm not going to try to pronounce his name. It was the god of, like, dreams and imagination and stuff like that. And again, being able to beat beings like the Sisters of Fate themselves, who are able to, pretty much just manipulate someone's fate. I think that's pretty simple himself here. He has, his hacks and abilities. He possesses his limited Olympian magic. Again, remember, he destroyed Olympus, thus the weapons he had, other than the Blades of Chaos, didn't work here. Keep in mind, Kratos' weapons attack on a conceptual level and bypass durability, such as the Leviathan axe imbued with the World Serpent's venom, which was able to not only bypass Thor's durability, but nullify his healing factor completely. That wound was never healed throughout the course of the game. It wasn't even stitched up. Kind of messed up, ain't it? But, yeah. Kratos, by the time he goes to Valhalla, now possesses the Blade of Olympus, and possibly still has some residence of the power of hope he had, which was above the concept of fear. So he possessed a concept that could overpower another concept. Take that as you will. You could probably get that to Hyperversal, maybe even higher. I don't really want to argue Autoversal for Kratos just yet, as I still need a bit more of that, other Pantheon confirmation. But that's going to do it for Kratos, and we'll move on to Deathwing. Now, Deathwing is a interesting phenomenon for me. You see, a long time ago, I did scale Deathwing to Autoversal. This was because he was beyond everybody in his verse. He was one of the top dogs in this verse, or top dragons, right? He's above the aspect dragons, and he himself being an aspect dragon as well. The aspect dragons are beings that are, they're pretty much the highest beings in the cosmology for the World of Warcraft verse. You have the Elder Gods and the Titans, then you have Sargus, who's on top, and then you have the Aspect Dragons, and then there's Deathwing, who's basically like this god over gods. Like, this dude was able to fight off every Aspect Dragon, including Alexstrasza, who was formerly the strongest member of the Aspect Dragons. Keep in mind, characters like Sargus, who is below the likes of even Illidan, who is still nothing compared to an Aspect Dragon. Even the weaker ones are still able to, Illidan being able to be Sargus, a being that could pretty much threaten and destroy all of creation, even banishing his own kin's souls after he slayed him. He basically destroyed his own kind, and basically went on like a Galactus-like killing spree. It was absolutely insane here. Now again, being able to destroy all of creation where the universes or dimensions in World of Warcraft are known to be infinite in size, with some of them even existing outside of the World of Warcraft multiverse, like the Elder God planes, and even the Void itself, which is supposed to be, again, beyond things like time and space, and even things like the Emerald, which is basically beyond the concept of distance and time itself. So again, you could easily get that to Autoversal, or again, if you guys want to dial it down, Hyperversal pretty easily. Deathwing himself has been able to defeat not only the Aspect Dragons, but even like the main character even defeat like the main character or your online character himself here. It actually took his own power from the Demon's Eye, which was a relic that he made imbued with his own power, to basically kill him. You basically killed Deathwing with Deathwing. It's yeah, it's actually pretty crazy, but it is what it is here. Deathwing has a plethora of hacks and abilities. He's able to use the following: necromancy, telepathy. He has obviously his pretty much his signature dragon breath here. But here's the thing about his dragon breath, right? His fire, his veins even, are connected to an elemental universe. Okay? He's able to summon even these fire golems, these little like fire demons. Like if you guys play Midnight Suns, where Mephisto is able to summon like these fire demons and stuff, it's very similar to that. But he's also able to summon these giant fire monsters, which are again capable of actually fighting off and even holding off the other aspect dragons. So these guys are insanely powerful, and he simply just upscales them. Alright, so in all honesty, I think that would really cover Deathwing. You can easily get him from a Hyperversal to Autoversal character. Like it's pretty simple here. He has his feats here, like his being able to wake up and shake the entire, cosmology when he wakes up, essentially. And again, keep in mind that the world of World of Warcraft itself contains infinite universes within it and infinite dimensions. Even having things like trolls and golems, or even your basic humans, are able to create these pocket-sized universes. So yeah, I think that pretty much does it for both characters. You could easily get Kratos to hyperversal. You could easily get Deathwing to hyperversal. You could probably argue autoversal for Deathwing. You might be able to get Kratos to autoversal, but again, to me, I do think I just need one more Pantheon under his his pack count to kind of just get him there. But let's really talk about this, and let's talk about the weapons, and I guess weapons and abilities. Now, it should be no surprise that Deathwing simply out-hacks his Kratos. Now, again, when it comes to the weapons versus the hacks, they really don't have too much that can affect each other. I mean, they can affect each other on like a conceptual level, as they're able to fight against, conceptual beings, even non-corporeal beings that are literally just like, spirits and avatars of certain elements and stuff. Elements and also, like ghosts, demons, stuff like that. They're able to affect them on a conceptual level. And yeah, Kratos has his other weapons as well, like the Draupnir Spear, and now the Blade of Olympus, one of the strongest weapons, and should be able to affect concepts and even kill beings that can kill beings that created concepts. But while I think this is definitely more of a fair fight. I think this is probably one of the most non-one-sided battles I really had on my channel here, especially when it came to some of my older projects. I mean, you guys saw Monster Hunter versus Spider-Man. That was overkill. Spidey had no reason to be in that fight, but again, the project had to be done. But again, if we go with their more consistent ends rather than their higher ends, consistent ends I mean here, which is the hyperversal category, you could argue this really does go either way here. Kratos has his weapons, he has his cosmology, same with Deathwing, he has his magic, he has some of his weapons and his cosmology. However, if I had to award it to someone, I think I would favor Deathwing a bit more here. He's, I think, just a little bit higher when it comes to, I guess you'd say, the cosmic chain of where he's at. Yes, Kratos is around in the Marvel terms, a Skyfather level being. However, Deathwing in those terms is a Skyfather amongst Skyfathers. And I think not only that, but I do think he actually does overpower Kratos eventually in a fight here. But that's all I really got for today, you guys. I think Deathwing does win because he does have, hacks that can counter Kratos'. His dragon form, obviously gives him an edge here. And I think he has just a bit more going for him, especially with, like, his physical stats over Kratos here. But that's going to be all today, you guys. I definitely think Deathwing takes it 5 out of 10, high diff. Be sure to comment down below, like and subscribe, and share with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and I hope you guys have a blessed day. Peace.